Welcome to this Black Ops 6 overview. All the key information that we just got from the Xbox showcase, aka the Call of Duty showcase. I am going to be breaking down. You're going to be watching the footage as I discuss what the developers were talking about in a more easier recapped breakdown for everyone to enjoy. Whether you're new to the series or you're like me, pretty much played every single Call of Duty ever made, let's get into everything about this game as we go down a rabbit hole. So, yes, Black Ops has 6 titles, and this one is actually in between them all when it comes to the actual timeline. It's going to be right after part two, and it's going to be in 1991. So, the 90s were a great year, and that's just the foundation. But I do want to talk about the release date, October 25th, officially coming out on a Friday worldwide. The game is going to drop, and it's done by Treyarch and Raven Software. So both these guys collabing to get this done. Of course, we know Call of Duty comes out very often. They're one of the biggest franchises. And I just felt like giving them due respect. I think that they have some stuff in here that I'll talk about later that I really like, and that there's a chance this can be a special Black Ops game as we go forward. I want to talk about the campaign, which you're watching some footage of right now. They dove deep into this one and they sunk their teeth into what the campaign is going to do. It's going to be a new point in time, basically, in 1990s. Very interesting. And of course, it's a fictional story and all of that, but they kind of use some historical elements and conspiracies and infiltration to the government. And there's a traitor. And so, guess what? Who's a traitor? Maybe it's you. And if you go rogue, what happens? And that is the question that this campaign is going to be unfolding. So, you're going to be fighting all sides. Think about it. You already have the enemies. And then when your so called allies become the enemies, it's going to get a little wild. So there's going to be some psychological different things of mistrust and who to trust and so on that could really take it to that next level, guys. For me personally, I do think that would be exciting. And they basically trying to create a more thriller based game where there's some spy intense moments and things like that, and that's something that I personally can respect and I can appreciate. And we'll see where that goes as far as these heroes within the game when we play it. A lot of turmoil happening, the civil union, and so much more happening. End of the Cold War, etc., etc. All of this stuff is playing a part in the story. And of course, the rogue element is the best part of it all. And that's where you come in, the player. And I don't want to dive too deep into everything with the story. I don't have much there as far as like, oh, the plot line or anything, but the core experience of what I'm explaining is what you'll get. And of course, CIA handlers and all these people who you can probably, let's just say, not trust given the scenarios. So you're going to be put in between the lines and it could get extremely deadly. So I'm super excited for that. And now I want to dive a little bit more into multiplayer and some of the things that I personally am very excited about when I heard the new movement system. So sliding, diving, sprinting in any direction. You guys know I'm a movement head. That's something I love. So you're going to be able to have more dynamic aspects, whether it's auto sprinting, mantling, or crouching, given scenarios, things like that, that are going to be in the options for you to do, which is very cool. So you're able to rotate when you prone. This is something that like a Metal Gear game has, and you're going to be able to do that within this game. And I do think that's going to be another dynamic that's going to be special for the multiplayer, for the game in general. I mean, this is first of all, the movement is going to work for campaign. There is a zombie mode and the multiplayer. That being said, let's get into the multiplayer. All right, there's 16 maps to start off with. The new movement, the prestige system, is actually going backwards to the original prestige system, and I'll talk about that in a second. Guess what? Classic prestige, you're gonna be able to do your thing. They're gonna have simple UI things where you can invite a friend back, minimal hubs with custom presets. The loadouts are gonna be your primary, secondary, melee weapon. You're gonna have 3 perks per loadout. You can equip the perks and go from there. There's 5 attachments per weapon, up to 8, with a wild card aspect, which we're probably gonna end up using that. Traditional score streaks are back, so that's coming. They're trying to bring back some things. Winner circle is back. Best play is back. Shooting range is back. Okay. A lot of cool things that I think would be great. Again, I said that there's going to be 16 new maps and 12 6v6 and 4 strike maps. Okay. Classic 3 lane maps as well. So that is interesting, and we'll see how that works. There's a new thing that's called hit animation. Um, Basically, new hit animation system where there's 9 spots you can hit, and it has realistic effects. So let's say I shoot you in the leg, and you'll go down to the right. Oh, my leg! And so that is something that I thought was interesting, and it could be special when the time comes. There's 3 categories of perks I was saying: the enforcer, recon, and strategist. They're divided into 3, which makes it interesting and very specialized, so on. So super interesting. Um, you can get speed boost, health regen, and so on, depending on which perk you put on, of course, which could be interesting. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the zombie mode. I'm not much of a zombie mode player anymore, guys. I'm just going to be real with you guys. That's not something I've been sinking my teeth in as of late. But I wouldn't mind getting back into it if they have good reasons. So so they're gonna have round based content. So 2 round based maps. Liberty Falls, that in West Virginia, and then Terminus. That's a black site area. And Terminus is gonna be in the dark, and then Liberty Falls can be daylight setting and stuff like that. But that's what's happening for that. And I'm interested in it all, guys, because some of the stuff that they're saying, they're basically revamping this game in a lot of ways. A lot of little things you could see right now. The proning, to me, is the most important. Not the proning, but the movement in general. They decided to revamp it all and try to give people better experiences with this. And it's 2024, man. Stop using the same old stuff. Let's innovate. Let's get creative. Let's make something new. And I do feel like what we're seeing so far is very special. Check this out. You're going to be able to dive forward and backwards, doing all types of stunts, which is really going to turn into a dynamic experience. You guys know when I was younger, I was doing dolphin dives and all types of madness when I was allowed in video games. So it coming to a newer version, of course, it's probably the same old stuff, but just revamped, could be the potential of a great Call of Duty game. And so for me, I love it. As you can see, they're just talking about little details that they're adding even into the settings that are going to make a huge difference for you depending on how you want to play. I like auto sprint for certain games, but it depends on how things work mechanically. And I actually really love when they have dead zones for these things. So if you want to auto sprint, but you have your dead zone at a 7, so you can't do it right away, but you're going to do it decent enough so you won't have to spam the button. I love it. So those are the type of things personally, guys, that I am excited for. And I do think that from the information that we got, it looks really good. And it could be, something special. I'm not going to talk about graphics and give my opinions. Everything always looks good in these trailers. Give me the game, right? And it depending on what platform you play. You don't look for those people who got PlayStation 4s and they put up a video. Let's go for next gen consoles or PC players and see about how good the graphics will be when they do pop up, because it does look nice and visually, like I said, these are some of the biggest budgets in the industry when it comes to releases. So I'm expecting great things. Now, again, I'm a veteran of Call of Duty. I can't act like I haven't seen this hype up story before, but I'm curious on what you guys are feeling and what you guys are thinking. And do you agree or disagree about having some excitement for the revamps and some of the previous things coming back as well? How do you feel? Leave it in the comments and share any information that you might know. We're going to continue to try to cover this as long as it continues to look good. I'll be checking it out. All right. Hope y'all enjoyed that. Go ahead and watch the next video. It should be popping up right now on your screen, breaking some very cool games down as we go forward. Much appreciated, y'all. See y'all on the field. Peace.